Hello, today we'll talk about the movie The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. First of all, a quick summary. The movie talks about Steve Zissou, a world famous oceanographer who films documentaries of his adventures aboard his ship, the Belafonte. From the start of the movie, it's clear that his better days in films are way behind him. His marriage is tense and he's out of funding for his next film. People always make fun of him. The movie opens with Zissou's film being premiered in Italy. In that movie, Zissou's best friend Esteban is killed by a creature that Steve calls the jaguar shark. Although the film receives extremely bad reviews, Zissou sets out to complete a second part of the movie, one in which he seeks to find the jaguar shark, prove its existence, and kill it. On the same night of the premiere, a young man named Ned Plimpton introduces himself to Steve as being his potential son. Steve asks Ned to join Team Zissou, and Ned does so, putting up his inheritance from his mother as a bankroll for the adventure. This money is matched by other investors who demand that one of their people, Bill the Stooge, go with the team and make sure they stay on budget. Jane, a pregnant writer for an oceanographic magazine, also joins the team to write a piece on Zissou. Immediately, Steve is attracted to her. However, she seems to form a bond with Ned. Their first step in finding the jaguar shark is to use a shark finding station which belongs to Steve's nemesis, Alistair Hennessy. They seal the equipment on board and set out in unprotected waters to get to the shark signal faster. However, they are boarded by pirates who take Bill as a hostage and all of Ned's inheritance money. After a mutiny on board of the Belafonte and some of the crew abandoning him, Steve sets out to rescue Bill from the pirates with the help of his wife Eleanor and the rest of his crew. They also rescue Hennessy, who was also captured by the pirates. Resuming their mission to find the shark, Ned and Steve go up in their helicopter to look for signs, but Ned is killed in the helicopter crash. Soon after, the shark is located and spotted, and everyone go into the submarine to go and look for it. There, in the depth of the water, they all see the shark. They all believe Steve. However, he decides not to kill it. The movie ends with Steve's second movie premiering and receiving a huge success. So this movie is a film about filmmaking. Throughout the whole movie, Steve tries to make it clear that he is, or more importantly he was, the big shot in the movie world. He's the man in charge. He keeps ordering people, telling them what to do. After all, it is called Team Zissou. And like Esteban said in an interview on minute 7, second 17, he is the Zissou. However, he seems to be very incompetent at doing this. He even says it himself with his famous line to Eleanor, his wife, after the first hour, minute 16. Sorry, I know I haven't been at my best for the past decade or so. There's also this other scene at minute 24 where he takes out the whole crew on the beach at night to make a scene where they're all wearing the same pajamas, which was very weird and very absurd. Also, people seem to be making fun of him all the time and not taking him seriously, like on minute 17 when three Italian directors are talking bad behind his back. So something or someone seemed to be controlling everything from behind the scenes, making everything happen, making Team Zissou work. These are actually Vikram, the cameraman responsible for the visuals, and Wolodarsky, the original score composer, both of Zissou's teams. As mentioned already, this movie is a film about filmmaking, and so there are actually two films. The film that us viewers are watching, and the film that Steve is trying to make. There are a lot of instances where Steve can be heard saying, "Vikram, start rolling," or "Vikram, did you cover this?" And this is where things get both messy but also interesting. There's this sort of contrast or mirror view between both films, and thus between Steve Zissou and Wes Anderson as both filmmakers, Anderson being the director of the actual movie. The line between Steve and Anderson is very thin and yet very messy and noticeable. And music seems to be central, playing a major role in the way both these films are interconnected, and ultimately in the way both these films are actually filmed. Let's discuss this in more detail. Throughout the movie, there are different kinds of music that can be noticed. At some instances, music is diegetic, part of the universe in which Steve and his team are in. At other times, it seems to be non-diegetic, but also it can be seen in few instances as sub-diegetic, perhaps, as in the music used in the film inside the film, meaning the music used for Steve's movie. Before things get more confusing, let us take a look at a few examples of these different kinds of music. A few instances of where music is diegetic are the scenes where Pele, one of Steve's crew members, can be seen playing the guitar and singing. For example, on the ninth minute after the premiere of his movie, there's this after party on the Belafonte. Pele can be seen singing a song called Ziggy Stardust. Or on the minute 19th, when Steve gets on the island, Pele can be seen sitting on a porch singing a song called Rebel Rebel. Or on minute 59, sorry, when the pirates are about to board the ship, Pele can be seen sitting on deck and playing the song Space Oddity. And there are many more other examples. Weirdly, Pele seems to be kind of off, separated from the rest of the crew. As events are happening around him, he's always there, sitting playing his guitar and singing. That seems to be his only function, as a sound bridge between scenes. Which leads us to wonder, is he actually part of the story, or is he part of telling the story? More odd is the use of songs. All of Pele's songs are actually David Bowie songs, such as Life on Mars, Space Oddity, or the ones mentioned, but they are all sung in Portuguese, which kind of establishes a connection with our world, being David Bowie songs, and yet they're in Portuguese, making them very strange. We want to connect to them, and yet we are not quite able to do so. The second kind of music, the non-diegetic ones. For example, there's the scene where Steve is fighting pirates off the boat at the first hour, minute 4. One can hear the song Search and Destroy by Iggy and the Stooges, while Steve hilariously takes on an army of pirates in a bathrobe. This scene in general, and choice of music in particular, is so absurd yet so perfect at the same time you can't help but fall in love with it. Like you're going to listen to someone other than Iggy Pop when you're battling pirates. I mean, come on. No one can beat Steve Zissou's level after this scene. The scene feels strange in a way because it looks totally constructed and built. The last kind of music is the sub-diegetic one, the music used and heard in Steve's film. For example, the scene at the first hour, minute 25, where the whole team goes on Pig Island to rescue the Bond company stooge Bill. As a matter of fact, in this scene, Vikram, the cameraman, can be seen running the whole time with the camera recording everything that's happening. This is thus part of Steve's movie. The music heard in this sort of electronic pop music, very similar to the one that can be heard at the start of the movie during Steve's first film premiere at the 5th minute. Weirdly though, this sort of music can be heard in other parts of the movie, like for instance the scene at minute 53 where they all dive underwater looking for a phantom signal, which turns out to be a black box from an airplane crash. In this scene too, Vikram is rolling the camera and taping everything. As a matter of fact, in most of these scenes, Vikram is rolling the camera even when attacked by the pirates. The scene after the first hour, minute 2, Steve asks him, Vikram, what kind of coverage did you get? The whole movie then can be seen as Vikram shooting footage and Steve and his team making the movie. And the two films, the real film, the one seen by us viewers, but also Steve's film, the one filmed inside the film, seem to have very similar scores, if not almost the same. This begs us to think, because it feels as if the whole movie we're watching as viewers is actually the film submitted by Steve at the festival at the end of the movie. Wolodarski, being the original score composer, seemed to have this role of knitting the two films together, of fusing the diegetic worlds together, and all this is done through music. There are many hints that point to this hypothesis. Among these are some visual effects that occur in Steve's third movie premiere, such as a visual effect like writing on the screen, part 1, the jaguar shark. The same visual can be seen in the real movie. For example, there's the scene after the first hour, minute 6, where also the visuals appear on the screen writing Mutiny on the Belafonte. Furthermore, like Jane the reporter told Steve in her interview on the minute 28th, that aspects of Steve's movie, the one premiered at the festival at the beginning of the film, seemed fake. Many aspects of the real movie that us viewers are watching seem very fake, such as the visual effects, the background visuals, but also many creatures like the sugar crabs, the golden barracuda, the cryon pony fish, and also the jaguar shark itself, and the way these creatures are represented. Looking at it this way, the whole movie that we're watching can then be seen as Steve's movie, the one submitted at the festival at the end of the movie. And like we said before, the whole movie gives us a sense that it is constructed, and that many aspects of it are built. It feels like something that Steve Zissou might put into his movies and not Wes Anderson. A perfect example of that would be the scene on minute 14 where Steven is introducing to us his boat in this ridiculously detailed fashion. Music then in this movie is trying to make a connection between things that make sense through its soundtrack and its use of David Bowie songs, but also it is knitting different universes together, that of Steve and that of Anderson, until both ultimately become one. As a matter of fact, the very last scene of the movie amplifies this phenomenon, where everyone can be seen walking towards the Belafonte and the silhouette of Ned on the deck of the Belafonte. In Steve's world, Ned is dead. This shows us the complete union and fusion of these two worlds, as this scene is very different from the whole movie, with everyone looking happy and walking towards the boat. For the first time, Vikram is carrying the camera, however, he's not rolling. Pillay is carrying the guitar, however, he's not playing. This is the ultimate fusion of both universes to create a whole new world. Thank you.